Okay, looks like we're live. I am Verde Arbusto. This is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on Facebook and YouTube. This is Wednesday, the 29th of July, 2020. And the discussion here is generally talking about tinnitus, and we are talking about tinnitus and the ringing in the ears. Okay. So, where I had left off last time, we were talking about, and this is not an in-depth discussion on how the ear works and how you pick up sound and all of that. It sort of is. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the ear itself, mainly because I don't know that much about it. What we're looking at are these crystals here. These crystals here, right? And we're from the perspective of ascension and what's a better way to put it? Spiritual evolution of humans. I think maybe a good way to look at ascension. This might be a good place to make this distinction, this determination. I talk about this phrase ascension from the perspective of it being the harvest time. It is what I would call the wrap-up of the wrap-up. All the accounts are getting cashed out now. Karma, as you know it, no longer exists from the perspective of the veil of forgetting, the veil of Maya. People are reincarnating, yes, but they remember. They have their memories back. That's the difference between the standard, the way karma and reincarnation had been, as opposed to how it is now. People are being born remembering their past lives. This is new. So it is the time for the great clearing it's the clearing of humanity. This is the wrap-up of the wrap-up. This is where all the accounts, as I said, all the accounts are getting cleared out. Everyone's getting cashed out. You do your best, but it's time to move on and help those who are not doing as well as you are. The days of dog eat dog and me first are gone. That's like either you're going one way or another if you're self-centered and not willing to help others along their pathway. This is a side issue of what I'm saying, but you see in the comments, a lot of places, all over the places, people are talking about this stage of humanity of the ascension and the ascension symptoms. And I will give you my perspective that only the people who are ready to go on are getting these symptoms, and it's an upgrade. There's a few things that's happening, and one of them is an upgrade on your crystalline structure. So here, as you see, these crystals are all the loose inner ear crystals. They cause vertigo. So if they're all kind of knocking together, they shifted, it shows you, that's what's giving you the sense of vertigo, that they're not. It's a confusion of your inner ear. Your inner ear is essentially sending chaos. These loose things, they're sending chaos to your brain, and so that is being interpreted as static or noise or environmental noise that you're feeling, and you can't put your finger on it, but something is shifted. And the sense of stability that comes with these guys being anchored in place is gone. All right. So symptoms of vertigo, right? All right. So we're talking about symptoms of vertigo include balance problems, spinning sensation, swimming vision, nausea, headaches, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, hearing loss, fatigue, cognitive or concentration issues. All right. So these are, we saw that same basic list on the other page by the Mayo Clinic. And this is a sales pitch for specialists in Lebanon and Grantham. But they're basically to determine which semicircular canal the crystals have moved into, and treat using a series of coordinated movements and positions, canalith repositioning procedures to remove the crystals. So what they're doing is they're basically turning you around, from what I'm understanding, turning you around so that they loosen out of the canal and they're not in your ear anymore, the ear canal anymore. All right. Let's see what they talk about. Ear problems linked to vertigo. All right. So otitis media, which is an infection of the middle ear. Osteosclerosis. Otosclerosis. Okay. Otosclerosis. Abnormal bone growth within the middle ear. Then you have perilymphatic fistula. Abnormal connection develops in membranes that separate air-filled middle ear from fluid-filled inner ear. Okay. All right. Benign proximal positional vertigo, BPPV, which is calcium debris in your ear. Meniere's disease, which is abnormal fluid buildup in the inner ear. Okay. Labyrinthine concussion, that's trauma to the inner ear. Okay. So these are nerves of the inner ear, and as the nerves generally are taking a skin sensation and turning it into an electrical impulse for your brain. That's what nerves are, that's what senses are. So any stray electrics or magnetics, or stray electrics in the environment is going to cause your nerves to misfire in some way. It could create muscle spasms, contractions or something. Your skin on the galvanometric, I'm having a hard time with that word. Your skin responses are affected by that as well. So the electrics of the environment, in the immediate environment, which we get a lot from our communicating devices, the electronics we use give out electric signals and impulses that affect us in negative ways, generally speaking. So outside of that, the rest of the electrics that we're talking about here would be the Schumann electrics and electromagnetics. All right. I was going to mention something. I lost my train of thought. All right. So the nerves receive a signal, electrical signal from the environment that might not ordinarily be there, but it is there, and a higher charge up of electricity, you start feeling these things in odd ways. And you see, that was the list of Ascension symptoms. That right there list of Ascension symptoms, what I'm calling Ascension symptoms, is the single biggest list of problems that people have been facing with the spikes in the Schumann. Okay, so now let's bring up our other. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so where are you? Okay, so this is our Schumann resonance harmonics today. Okay, so there's lots of amplitude activity, mixed modes, not only the white mode, which is the highest intensity, The green mode, and I've talked elsewhere about the modes, the colors, what that mean. I'll go, I have been explaining more about the colors and the modes and all of that, but we're going to look at this from this perspective right here. So the white mode, relative amplitude. That is the electric component of that, and that's what we're talking about. When we looked at the other page, we're talking about electrical signal, so sticking with an electrical signal right now. Okay, so the amplitude, activity, mixed modes, not only white. So what I'm talking about is this is not just a white spike here. Hello. All right. So that is not just a white spike. There's other colors in there. There's our pumpkin. There's our rust. There might be some yellow hidden in the white that you can't see. There'd likely be some white, but there'd likely be some yellow. But the orange, you see right here on this line here, this is our resonance. This line is our resonance. This is 7.83. That's not going away ever. 7.83 is not rising. Okay. This resonant harmonics is not rising, but look at this weave. Okay. You have a little bit of the orange in there, in amidst all this spike of white, a heavy spike of white, and it's missing the magnetics behind it. You see, it's in front of that. Clearly, that didn't spike out of the range. This is a whole different antenna. This one here, that's a whole different antenna than this one here. Okay, remember that. So when I talk about mixed modes, I'm talking about not only white, but you also have the yellow, and you have the orange, and you have it not only at the frequency, but you have it free floating here. This is basically free floating, okay? At this point. But then it's still there. It still kind of bleeds through into the rest of the harmonic. It's a wave. It hit. Ding, high electrical, this right here. Highly electric with magnetics in it. Like, that's a pretty... Unless you know what you're looking at, you don't realize the significance of those middle punches. Like, it's the heavyweight packs... The heavyweight fighter packs a very strong punch, but he's slower. The welterweight and the featherweights, their punch might not be as strong, but they're going to hit you a bunch more times than the heavyweight is going to hit you. So within the course of the time the heavyweight hits you, the welterweight or the featherweight has hit you 2 or 3 times. That's what this is. That's what this is. Ding, 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 ding. It's like the bell. You get whacked a few times, and then it kind of levels out. So these spikes are the electric. Ding, 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 ding. They don't stick around long. These don't have a frequency per se. They have an amplitude because they don't stick around at all. They just keep hitting. They just keep dinging. Ding, 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 ding. There is no frequency to the uprights. Like that, let that sit for you for a minute. There is essentially not a frequency. It's a very short, quick frequency. It's a very short frequency of duration. It is the amplitude, the height of the wave that you're looking at, this crazy tall, high wave, the spike. I can't look at this and say, oh, there's nothing going on. There's all these crazy spikes, like acupunctures, which are what are ringing and dinging in your ear. So as these come in, pew, you see it, you saw it, that those signals are what are causing the ringing. It's the pinging in your ears. And this stuff here, I will maintain, is the crystal stuff. So as you're hearing the ringing, you're also experiencing this other part here with that are affecting the magnetics, are more likely to affect, because look at that. These are all that's a huge crazy signal going across. Look at how wide that is. That's like a 5 hertz bandwidth right there. That's crazy. So it would be my observation, or it's my belief, that these magnetics are what are causing that dislodge. And those are tiny crystals in your head. I mean, those are tiny, 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 tiny crystals in your ear, and it's protected by that fluid in there. But the electrics and the magnetics can move without a medium. It's not sound. It does not need a compressible medium like audio waves, like sound waves do. The ringing in your ear, the ringing you hear in your ear is an induction. It is a somewhat between an electric and a magnetic induction. By the times that you get the pinging here, and then the rest of it comes from the ringing of it being activated by all this indiglo, the magnetic or the electrics, the free-floating electrics that are all around it. So it comes in, makes these spikes, but then it sticks around, and you can see the rebound of it. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there. The rebounds, ding, ding, ding. And then there's another one that comes in at 17. And then you see right here, there's another rebound, another rebound, another rebound, another rebound. But these are spikes. It's up and down. And so this is kind of complicated. And I'm not a doctor, even though I'm not even sure the doctor could really explain this. But you have the interchange it's a differential going between the original hit, the original spike, bing, of the magnetic to when it converts into the original spike of the electric, right? Before it gets conjuncted into the magnetics, right? So this spike, ding, 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 comes out. It kind of keeps rebounding, reverbing, and and it's holding this resonance, the frequencies, the resonant frequencies of those. It's like separating oil from water. I'm having a hard time kind of putting this into words. I have a great picture. I will send you an intuition picture if you ask me for it, if you're good with that. But if you can't mind read pictures, swap pictures from one another, you have to bear with me trying to figure this out in words. But it's a separation of like oil and water. When you have a dressing, like an Italian dressing, you shake it up. It's good for a minute. But then once the initial charge drops, then you have what's left. Then you have the ones that are coming in, they're high, like these are coming in. The ones that are not coming in at a high frequency and dropping, these are the bounces. These are the dingings. They're the response, the electric response. So it's these electrics that are causing the ringing. The vertigo has been caused by the magnetics, these lines of magnetics here. Probably more with the pure green. You don't really see this in here, but the pure green, like it's pure green there. Like this is a really interesting reading today. The pure green, that's mode 1, that's the heaviest. The rest of this is yellow. You don't see the yellow in here that often. It's highly yellow. Right? It's on my monitor. I'm pretty sure it's on my monitor. White looks white here, right? So yellow, and this teal and the aqua color, the pumpkin, the red, the rust color, that's all in here. There's not much green, which is the heavy magnetics. These are resonances of higher magnetics and electrics, and the mix of mid-grade electrics and magnetics. That the oranges and rust and pumpkin are the mix of the electric and the magnetic, where the electric has not shed, or the electric and the magnetic are requited. That's the expression I use. They're requited. It's like they're married. So you're seeing them here being held in place. Wow. Wow. You're seeing these being held in place along this frequency line But yet this is going down to, this is 7.0, this is going down to almost 4, right? The 4 hertz line is here. This is at 6. 5.5, maybe. 6. Looks like that starts at 6, and that goes to 4. So these mid-grade, this is what I'm kind of figuring out here. That the mid-grade, the pumpkin and orange and all that, this being held in place is what's causing a good part of what's causing the ringing. All right, so that's where we're at with this. And I had wanted to point out, like, there's this line, notable line at 33.3. So this is the Masonic stuff that we're taking over. This is 33. This is 25. This is 17. This is obvious. This is our 14.4. This is our 7.8. This is 2. Or 2. I guess that's 3. This is 2. 4. You have 4. The Earth has a harmonic at 4. So if you see 4, like that's one of our harmonics. One of our natural harmonics is 4. Now, the other one, as the article said, harp is at 2. So if we're getting a line here, the difference that they got was 2 hertz. They produced 2 hertz, and that showed. So they could harp only went up to 20. You ever only saw 20. So the maximum possibility harp can do is 20, but they're looking for a resonance. They're looking to carry information on the Schumann. That's what they're looking to do, and that's at 2 hertz. The information they got was a signal at 2 hertz, which is where the poker is. All right. So, where am I? Oh, 22 minutes. All right. Okay. So this is probably a good place to stop the part 2, and I think we've talked about, this is just an introduction of tinnitus, ringing in the ears, and how to kind of know if maybe whether or not you do have tinnitus or not. It's not up for me to decide. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm a bicycle technician. As were the Wright brothers. Anyway, maybe that can be my joke for the day. I'm not a earth scientist. I'm a bicycle technician. Damn it, Jim. Okay, that's from a Star Trek reference. All right, so a special thank you, huge thank you once again to the Wages World Love Posse who has showed up at my doorstep and blown up my channel. At this point, you guys are the majority of my subscribers, and you are wonderful people. So thank you all for being here today. I appreciate you being here with me to help learn more about the Schumann resonances. And so thank you all, and have a great rest of your day. Namaste.